right now, and also the women's 1500 metres. So we're going to have 2 heats, and it will be the first 6 in each of those going through to the final. There is Ciara Mageean of Ireland. Big hopes for her, of course. Silver medal behind Laura Muir, who isn't at these championships. So is this the opportunity for Ireland to take a gold medal? Sara Lappalainen, a Kavisto Finnish national record holder, Olympic semi-finalist. Real breakthrough year for her that year. A couple of injuries to deal with since then. Cavalli of Italy, 4:01 at best. The experienced Esther Guerrero of Spain. So lots of athletes worth picking out here. There is Gemma Reekie, silver medal at the World Indoor Championships over 800, of course. Again, a big opportunity for her. She was a little bit disappointed with a silver medal in Glasgow, but that just shows you the quality athlete she is these days.
So heat 1 of the women's 1500 metres.
And again, no disrespect to anyone, but the fact that Laura Muir isn't here is opening the doors, certainly for the likes of Reekie and Mageean. And you would have to say that British and Irish athletes are looking quite strong in the women's 1500 metres in particular, when you've got the likes of Sarah Healy, Georgia Bell, Katie Snowden all involved as well. And we'll see the second heat in a few moments' time. Also got Elise van der Elst of Belgium, who won the European indoor title 3 years ago. A tall figure there in the white vest in the middle of the pack. Looked like Sara Lappalainen just leading out the field at this early stage. Sophia Enui making a move on the outside. Twice a medalist at these championships, silver in Berlin and then bronze in Munich. Only 4:04 so far this year. Really congested early on. Lappalainen, slightly reluctant leader here.
Coming to the top bend, Vera Hoffman trying to make her way around. This is a big group, generally.
Yeah, looks relatively slow at the moment, doesn't it? Sort of suits up the Brits perfectly here. Certainly, I think Gemma Reekie will be more than happy to use as little energy as possible here. She's in fabulous form over 800 with her 1:57 speed. She's a real danger in championship races over the metric mile. Of course, this is so different to what many of these athletes are used to, Alex. They're used to pacemakers on the Diamond League circuit, everything being laid up. Look at that, 68.8, almost 69 seconds that first lap. They're so used to quick pace-made races with predictable splits. This is where you have to run using your wits a little bit more.
Yeah, and interesting to consider, really. Gemma Reekie, we know she's worked a lot harder on her speed over the last couple of years, and whether 800 is her best distance. Of course, that's where she got that silver medal indoors. And yeah, I mentioned she was a little bit disappointed, but ultimately Sigrid Daguma seems to be a really top quality athlete, the Ethiopian. So in any case, she'll try and capitalize on the opportunity here. Guerrero, Spain, using her experience in a good position, 8 times Spanish champion outdoors, 4:03.72 this year in Ostrava. Cavalli tries to make a move. Mageean in the middle of the pack there. Top 6, remember, going through to the final. Lappalainen actually finished really well in Kladno to beat Isabel Boffi, so another who could have a fast finish.
I'm glad, Alex, to see Reekie at the front. It was another slow second lap. 2:16.4 at 800 is about 67.5 second lap after a 69-second first lap virtually. So you might as well stay out of trouble when it gets untidy and there's a lot of pushing and shoving in the middle of that pack. You might as well be out in front and clear of danger.
Gemma Reekie doing just that. Guerrero and van der Elst, Lappalainen, Cavalli, all for company. 3:06.03 at the bell. Not a bad time for opening kilometre 5,000. So Reekie still in the position that she wants to be in. Still, as ever, with that determined look in her face. Had to work really hard to adjust to a new setup, as has Laura Muir over the last couple of years.
Well, that 1200 time, Alex, 3:21 and 65.1. It still didn't really wind up much in the third lap. Riki in complete control now.
Guerrero still there. Let's have a look at this group of 7 athletes. So someone going to be unlucky here. Lapalainen on the inside and Garambe in the middle of this pack. Afonso on the outside. Lapalainen may just miss out now. Guerrero trying to do enough. Riki certainly has done enough. 4:06.69 on the clock. As they pushed on the pace right at the end of that race, but safe passage through there for Gemma Riki and a 5 behind her.
Yeah. You have to take the heat into account. It's a very, very warm day. I mean, you know, it's almost midday, the sun right up above. It's, what, about 28, 29 degrees centigrade here, and that was will have been testing, although I have to say Mageean and Riki looking very, very relaxed after that little run out in 4:06. They're both capable of going, well, frankly, around 10 seconds quicker than that, so they should be looking easy.
Yeah, sometimes when you have heat, semi-final and a final, you have kind of more of a chance to adjust to championship racing, especially reasonably early in the season. Just get a better idea of where your shape is at. But of course, these athletes, to a large extent, have prepared early in the season and have done more races, or as Tim was saying, a number of those on the Diamond League circuit and elsewhere, World Continental Tour, like I was saying with Lapalainen, who had a good finish to beat Isabel Boffi in Kladno a couple of weeks ago. You can see here Lapalainen towards the back of this nice drone shot that rotates. Guerrero looking around, but yeah, we're talking about Riki, but Guerrero certainly put himself in the right spot, trying to stick to Riki for as long as possible. And sometimes when you know you have a quick athlete involved in your race, that is the best game plan.
Lapalainen then doesn't make it through. No fastest losers, of course, Alex, but her consolation, 4:07, the season's best in 7th.
Yeah, Lapalainen had to work very hard to come back from injury after really making that breakthrough in 2021.
Nafi Tiam will be in action very shortly. Well, let's take a look at the second heat then of this women's 1500 metres. Georgia Bell goes on the outside for Great Britain from these 14 starters. There's Sarah Healy of Ireland. Great young athlete, Healy. Really come on in leaps and bounds this last couple of years. Her lifetime best now, 3:59. That was in Budapest last year. Seiton of Norway, Vessel of Germany, Guillemot of France. Katie Snowden of Great Britain, well, she's a 3:56 performer. Hasn't broken 4 minutes yet this year, but Snowden, well, she is a very, very classy athlete, coached by Steve Haas in the USA. Part of a setup there, where she has improved dramatically this last year or two. 8th in Budapest last year in under 4 minutes with 3:59. Does a bit of coaching herself, by the way, Snowden. Zenoni of Italy goes in this one too, of course. The Italian here will have to push hard. She's a 4:05 performer. That's her lifetime best earlier on this season. And on paper, an unlikely qualifier. Remember that qualifying conditions, top 6, and you go through to the final. You're 7th, that's it, gone. Fastest loser spots, or non-automatic qualifier spots, as we should say, do not exist anymore in the middle distances. And that's fair, I think, because the races can vary so much. It was always a bit of pot luck whether or not you had somebody who was prepared to front run and go hard in your heat and be dragged to a non-automatic qualifying spot. Well, those that unfairness, if you like, has gone now. So 3 3/4 laps of the track, then 14 athletes in this field. I wonder if anybody will take it out hard, although, as I say, the pace now doesn't matter so much. It's not a decisive factor like it used to be. Just over this last year or so, the world governing body has adopted a policy of And European athletics have slotted in with that of not having any non-automatic qualifiers. No fastest losers, as we used to say in Old English. It is a top 6. You're either in or you're out. Nice and easy to understand, and everybody knows what's going on in each of the 2 races in isolation. No advantage by being in a second or latter qualifying race. But this looks to be on the slow side. The 2 Brits well positioned there. Alex on the outside, Snowden and Bell.
Yeah, it'd be fascinating really to know what their mentality is going into this. Obviously, Georgia Mail just missed out on a medal at the World Indoors, and that was bittersweet because
a faller.
Might have been one of the Italians there. Certainly, it was a blue vest that fell. Auerbach is the Israeli, I believe. But yes, Snowden and Bell. Bell making her debut, senior championship debut for Great Britain after a couple of years out of the sport, quite a few years in fact, without having a full season in athletics. She dabbled in triathlon, but this great comeback, if you like, story for a former champion at schools level. And Katie Snowden as well, a great talent, and just maybe she sees this as an opportunity to get a gold medal, but also an element of uncharted territory, although they're both relatively experienced athletes between them. Sarah Healy, someone whose times have been getting very, very impressive. 3:59 personal best, 4:02 this year. And of course, coached by Trevor Painter and Jeddy Meadows in the UK.
Well, that first 400 metres, desperately slow. I didn't actually get the mark, but they come through with 2 laps to run. Nobody yet prepared to take it on. In a slow race like this, you've got to be near the front. If you're towards the back of the field, when you know that there's going to be a burn-up over the last 300, 500, 600, whatever it may be, you have got to have extra speed. You've got to do a sort of double whammy. You've got to make up the ground between yourself and the leaders and get past them. And that's tough. So, to me, there's a naivety in a slow race like this, unless you are a superior athlete, and you know that well before the race. There's naivety to being towards the back of the field, and they come down now. And still, Snowden looking comfortable there. Bell on her shoulder running a smart race as well. Moving down the outside is Damink of the Netherlands, tall figure there, but she's still towards the back. Auerbach, the Israeli who fell, and there may be an appeal of that. They'll have to have a look at the footage. Is towards the back, her number flapping around it, got torn off with the fall, but she's had to make up a lot of ground to get back with them, and surely left a picture, she will suffer. The pole has been allowed a free run here. Gallant all the way through to the Bell as they come through now. It has picked up this last few hundred metres. 3:12 at the Bell. The 1200 split, sorry, the Bell split in the previous race was 3:21. 3:06 actually, excuse me. That was the 1200 point. Here they come to 3 laps done. There's still the pole at the front. Prochinska running a really smart race. It's Polachinska, not Gallant at the front. Look at that bunching though. 10 athletes. You can throw a big blanket over the whole pack. Oh, and another athlete clipped there from behind. And it was Georgia Bell, I think. Oh no, and it's Zanoni who's gone down the Italian. What a shame. But it's always going to be the case in slow, meandering races like this. Bell badly boxed there behind Snowden. The Briton stayed out of trouble throughout. Plachinska's run a smart race on the inside, although she's losing the legs now. And moving down the outside is the French athlete looking really strong. That's Guillemot. Guillemot going to take it from Snowden. Bell in third. Well, the 2 Brits in second and third in any case. The winning time, well, considerably slower than the first race. What an untidy race that was, and what a shame. It's always going to be the case. Championship racing is such a different affair to racing on the commercial circuit. Diamond Leagues and World Athletics Continental Tour, gold, silver, bronze races. Usually there's pacemakers. There are not here. 4:11.92, a comfortable win there by Agatha Guillemot, who is a 4:02 athlete. She looked really impressive, but that time is slow. And let's confirm those qualifiers for you. Taking a little while to come through because so many of them came through the line together. But Guillemot and Bell and Snowden, yeah, it was Bell and Snowden, the finishing order of the Brits in second and third. Sarah Healy fourth, she goes through okay. Klochinska, who led most of the race, in fifth, she goes through. And that precious sixth qualifying spot, Marta Perez of Spain, 4:12.63, and the rest of them just missing out. It's a real game of chance, isn't it, when it is so tactical and you've got 10 athletes coming around the final bend like that, Alex?
Yeah, we can see the initial fall there from the Israeli Auerbach earlier in the race, and then Zanoni here, Georgia Bell doing well to stay on her feet, but two athletes in fact fell, Wesel of Germany and Zanoni. Frustrating for her. She did get back up and finish the race, but Gilmo coming through on the inside, as you said, she's had a good season, improved to 4:02 this year. Bell and Snowden unsure of their passage through to the final. Sarah Healy behind them, but chaos at some points during that.
Yep, it's about racing and using your wits, and if you stay back behind the pack in a slow race, you are putting yourself in danger of exactly that happening. People pushing and shoving and stumbling and knees and elbows everywhere. Well, there's the result of the second heat. Guillemot taking the win, 4:11.92, but it's the first 6 places, not the times that matter. Bell, Snowden, Healy, Plochinska and Perez, and Sasinak Maki of the Czech Republic just missing out, along with the others below her. Pretty unforgiving, but they all knew the conditions beforehand.
Just as a passing thought then, Tim, give us your thoughts on the ideas that have come into play over the last couple of years of having straightforward automatic qualifiers, 6 straight through rather than any fastest non-automatic qualifiers.
Well, there we see the after heat 2, all the qualifiers, Phil. I'm all for it. I think it's much fairer. I don't think there should be any advantages being in a latter heat, knowing what you've got to do to qualify from times when times matter. It should be about racing and using your wits, and this is championship racing, and that emphasises it. And actually, I pushed very hard the authorities to adopt this policy, so I like to think I had a little bit of influence in it. But yeah, I think it's much fairer. It doesn't matter if you're in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th heat in the middle distances, you know what you've got to do to qualify. Well, for those of you who love your middle distance running, there's a real smorgasbord of racing this evening. We've had a steeplechase final, an 800 final, and now the women's 1500 metres final. And we are assured of a new champion, the 2022 winner, Laura Muir of Scotland and Great Britain, choosing not to run here, preparing diligently for those Olympic Games in Paris. Only 4 women in this field have ever broken 4 minutes, so it could be a close one, this. Agathe Guillemot, the 24-year-old, is a 4:02 performer. That was this year, indeed, only a couple of weeks ago for the French. Sarah Healy, plenty of medals at age group, but 4:12 in her heat. She has run 3:59. That was in Budapest last year. One of 2 Irish in this event. Katie Snowden in very good form, 3:56 in Budapest last year, almost under 4 minutes this year. 4:12 in her heat. One was sat to too much. That was 2 nights ago. Marta Perez of Spain, she too knocking on the door of 4 minutes. 3 times European Indoor Championship finalist. And Garambe of Sweden, Yolanda Garambe, 32-year-old, a 4:03 performer at her best. And European Team Championship winner at 3,000 back in 2019. This could be the danger man athlete, danger woman I should say, Gemma Reekie. World Indoor Championship silver medalist at 800 metres in Glasgow back in March, 4th in the Tokyo Olympics at 800, but moving up to 1500 here and looking for a big run. Nella Wesel of Germany is the 7th out. She's a 4:06 performer. Salome Alfonso of Portugal, also 4:06. That was in Glasgow at the World Indoor Championships. Chiara Mageean, wow, the silver medalist 2 years ago, and behind Laura Muir, 32 years old now and getting better with age. Last year she ran 3:55 for a fabulous run at the Brussels Diamond League at the end of the summer, and on paper the quickest in this field. Georgia Bell, the 3rd Briton in this race, 4 minutes exactly, and a few hundredths in Eugene just a couple of weeks ago. She's in great form too, don't discount her. Alexandra Plochinska of Poland, the 24-year-old, won 4:04. That a couple of weeks ago in Tomblain in France. She's in fine form. Esther Guerrero, one of the brace of Spanish athletes to go through to this final. Marta Perez, the other we've already seen. Guerrero, again, another athlete who's run under 4:01. Would love to go under 4 minutes here, but no pacer makers, remember. This likely to be a tactical race. 8 times national champion at 800, Guerrero, and a 1:59 800-metre run. So she'll be quite happy. The first couple of laps are relatively slow, and Ludovica Cavalli of Italy, the sole Italian in this final. She's a 4:04 performer this year, 4 times the national indoor champion for the Italians. Lifetime best 4:01 coming in Budapest last year. So, 13 athletes out there. Riki, the 800-metre specialist. Mageean, the 1500-metre specialist, perhaps the favourites in this one. Georgia Bell of Great Britain, also in fabulous form with that quick run in Eugene 2 weeks ago. How is this one going to go? It'll be absolutely fascinating. I can't see a natural front runner in this field. Well, away they go then. Gemma Riki, happy to go to the front, it seems. Mageean slotting onto her shoulder, but will this slow down? It looks like it is slowing down. I think Riki just wanted to get to the front, sit on the shoulder, whoever does go right to the front. She stays off the curb, hoping someone will come through on her inside and slows it down, almost dangerous, because that is a very, very tight bunch.
Well, it's fascinating to see how this might unfold, but there are some athletes in this who might see this as one of the best chances for a senior title that they'll ever get. Gemma Riki was disappointed not to win World Indoor Gold, but that just shows you how much she's improved as an athlete. We know how hard, Tim, she's worked on her speed over 800 metres. Georgia Bell making her British debut at the age of 30. Katie Snowden has had to wait to deliver on the potential she showed when she won a Commonwealth U title in 2011, her only title in the sport. But the top 4 athletes in Europe this year, all Brits, as you said. Laura Muir not here, but maybe opening the door for someone else. Kieran Mageean, who's been behind Laura Muir at the Europeans, the Commonwealth Games, also looking to put herself in a good position. And what about her young training partner as well, Sarah Healy, training partner of Keely Hodgkinson?
Well, 67.7 at 400 metres was desperately so. It's about 4:10, 4:12 tempo at the moment. Riki doggedly sticking to the outside of lane 1, will not go to the inside, doesn't want to risk the chance of getting boxed. Her coach John Bigg, very, very experienced, also the coach of Elliot Giles, who ran the men's 800 final a few minutes ago. Riki here, an 800-metre specialist, just learning the ropes really as a 1500 runner. Good to see Georgia Bell staying on her shoulder as well. Mageean boxed a little bit there at the moment, but very much present in the first 4. Snowden on the inside there in 6th place. And I think that's one of the Spaniards, Marta Perez, in the yellow and orange top, in about 5th place on the outside there. But it is slow, desperately slow, as they come round to 800 metres. 67.7 the first 400. I think this one will be slightly slower. It is. Look at that, 2:16.3.
Well, they went through the bell in 1:59.9 as well before slowing down over that particular 100. This is really playing into the hands of the women with really good classy 800-metre times. That's the British trio, that's Mageean. It's going to be a fantastic dust-up over the final 500 metres between those women who've all gone sub 2 minutes for the 800 metres. It's looking as though Riki, this is all falling into place for Gemma Riki, isn't it?
Riki, the quickest over 800 metres in this field, at the front now. She stayed off the curb until she really wanted to, with about 600 to go. Mageean now building some momentum as they wind it up. Georgia Bell in second at the bell. It's about 3:04. This will be a fascinating next 400 metres. These 3 beginning to get underway. The French athlete, I think that is back in 4th place. So Guillemot trying to go with them as the acceleration has gone in. But Riki has got to run a very smart last 300 metres here. She's got to wind it up and save something for the home straight, because Mageean, tucked in there behind this duo of Brits with 200 metres to run, is very strong, very powerful. A sub-2-minute 800-metre runner herself. And these 4 well away now. Looks like Snowden is dropping back through the field, the 3rd Briton, but Riki in the lead. Georgia Bell in second. Mageean hasn't got any daylight at the moment. She's trying to find her way through the traffic. Is she just going to push herself through the middle there? And she does. Finds a bit of daylight. And Riki's gone. Riki's legs have gone. And Mageean, the strongest, the most experienced, the 1500-metre specialist for Ireland, is going to make it gold number 2 for Ireland here in the 1500 metres. Brilliant stuff from her. The winning time 4:04. Georgia Bell taking 2nd place there, I think, for Great Britain. That was experience from Mageean. She had a real patience there because she was boxed
on the inside for much of the race, and then really only found a bit of daylight with about 80 metres to go. She eased between the two Brits very gently, in a very polite manner. There was no Steve Ovett in Moscow 1980 just barging people aside, and she stormed to gold, a very comfortable winner.
Ireland have had to wait so long since Sonia O'Sullivan, then came that mixed relay gold. That was the big hope, but they were all eyes on Kieran Mageean, and I'm sure the confidence both from Irish track and field fans and within the camp itself. And Kieran Mageean, she's made a name for herself for not only backing up Laura Muir, but being brilliant on the Diamond League circuit for some fantastic post-race interviews full of colour and excitement as well. And she's given her best to the sport for so many years. It's such a delight to see her on the top step of the podium, one higher than Munich 2 years ago and 2 steps higher than Amsterdam 2016. That just shows you the dedication that goes in. It is so fantastic for Ireland to see all these hopes deliver into medal success.
Absolutely right, yeah, look at this. I thought Riki would find the way this race unfolded to her liking, but she just looks a little bit leggy there, doesn't she? Gets a little nudge there from Mageean, but the legs were going already, I think. Georgia Bell, does she have the legs here? Head back. You can see Guillermo to the left there, trying desperately to get back on terms with the Brit. Mageean has gone really powerful, striding away with this one, opening up a lot of distance with every single stride. Celebrates, punching the air there, and a brilliant silver there for Georgia Bell for Great Britain, and a bronze for France, just to make their evening get better and better.
Well, I have to say, I was putting my money on Gemma Riki and I would have lost it, I'm afraid, but I was basing my thoughts on the fact that she had that such a good 4:02.57 in Horzo just a few weeks ago, and such good series of sub 2 minute 800 meters.
There it is, Mageean winning comfortably from Bell and Guillermo of Great Britain and France. Golden Irish eyes tonight, and Spain taking 4th there as some consolation. The rest of them, well, in a typical championship race, not far behind, but far enough behind to not threaten for the medals.
Hello, I'm Leonardo Fabri, and you must subscribe to the European Athletics channel, because otherwise I'm gonna fight you.